Hi, and welcome to The Curling Show, the podcast that brings you interviews with the sport's top athletes and the people who shape the game. Made possible by listeners who went to thecurlingshow.com, clicked on the Support the Show link, and made a secure donation. I'm Dean Gemmel, and in this edition, we talk to the skip of a team that's proven over the last 4 years that they know how to win the Ontario Scotties Tournament of Hearts, and now hope to make it happen in Victoria. The skip for Ontario at 3 of the last 4 Scotties Tournament of Hearts, including this, the 2009 version. Krista McCarville, welcome to the Curling Show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, it's another year, another win. If you hadn't lost last year's final to Sherry Middaugh, it would be 4 in a row. You also lost the Grey Power Players Championship final last year to Amber Holland, and yet still, I sense that your name wouldn't be one of the first that most Canadian curling fans would mention when they talk about the top women's teams. Do you care?
No, I don't care one bit. I don't mind not being in the spotlight. It just keeps us, out of it, and we're a great team, and we know that we're a great team. That's all that really matters. So to stay out of the spotlight's not really that bad of a thing.
You do sort of fly under the radar. Even I have to admit, I spoke to you last year at the Players' Championship in St. John's and didn't realize it was you until about midway through the conversation, which was fairly embarrassing. But anyways. Hey, this year's win, that whole event in Oakville was sort of up for grabs. Lots of teams still in it after the round robin. You lost your last game of the round robin, I think, to Julie Reddick, and that led her and others back in the mix. Why do you think there seems to be more parity in the women's game in Ontario than in the men's?
You know what? It was such an even field this year. There's so many great teams in Ontario that every team is an even team. You can't go in there thinking there's one weak team. There never is one weak team. And even the team from Sudbury this year, they didn't win very many games, but they beat Sherry Middaugh, which is one of the top teams in Ontario. So you can't go into any games like thinking lightly. And I mean, it is the same in the men's curling as well, but I think just women are bringing their level of play up now. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the difference I see in the men's. I mean, although I'm watching Peter Corner battle Glenn Howard tonight by the internet, but it's going to be tough, I think, for any of those teams to beat Glenn. But I guess it only takes one game. Whereas on the women's side, it did seem like everybody could beat just about anybody, except at the end for you guys. Well,
exactly. Like when you think about the Ontario provincials, the best score, the best record was 6-3, and there's a couple of us tied with 6-3, and you think going into a women's provincial, you would think that a 6-3 would maybe, be maybe the third or fourth place team when, at our Ontario, it was the first and second place team at 6-3. So that it's a pretty good field when the top teams are at 6-3.
You've won in the South before when you've gone down. Do you feel any extra added pressure to represent the North well when you play down there?
Well, I think our first win when we were in Fort Frances, I think because we weren't really well known or anything, I think a lot of people thought...
I know what they said. They said, it was one on Northern Ontario gravel, and it wasn't legitimate.
Yeah, so I think winning the second time in the South just proved that we could do it. It wasn't just a fluke, that we could do it. So to do it again in the South is even sweeter, I guess you could say.
Hey, the last time you played down there, I think it was in Mississauga or Dixie, I guess, you ran afoul of the OCA cresting rules and had to cover some of your sponsor crests with duct tape. Did you have any of those problems this time?
Yeah, actually we did have problems.
You did?
But I didn't do the duct tape because we have purple jackets and we don't have matching purple duct tape, so I had to actually take the cresting off this time, which was unfortunate because we're so grateful for our sponsors.
So how many sponsors do you have? How many sponsors do you have this season?
We probably have close to 10 or more sponsors. So.
And the OCA only allows you to put 4 crests on?
Yeah, that's right.
And why 4? Have you ever asked why 4?
We're really not too sure. It's just the rules. In the South or in the North, next year it's here in the North, and there are no rules. You can wear any amount on your jacket. They don't care about that, but. I mean, we respect their rules. We play by whatever they want to play by, and it's just unfortunate because we are grateful for our sponsors. Yeah, but at the same time, we're not going to disobey the rules. We want to stay on their good side. So
I don't respect the rules at all. I think it's ridiculous. I ranted about it before. I don't understand 4 either. It's like pulled out of nowhere. 4, and then I said somebody should get 100 sponsors, and then you'd have to cover up your whole jacket. But Anyways,
Well,
I'm annoyed.
They were saying something like they don't want you to look like NASCAR racing.
Yes,
Which,
NASCAR, only one of the fastest growing sports in the world until recently. So.
Yeah, so I said, well, you know what? They're proud of their sponsors, and we are too.
Yeah.
But they didn't seem to care. So
all right, well, at the end, I'm going to give you a chance to list all 10 sponsors. It won't be quite as good as being at the rink, but whatever.
Okay, awesome.
Hey, your team doesn't play a huge schedule. You had 4 tour events this year, plus the Canada Cup qualifier in Edmonton. But you do all live in Thunder Bay, in the same city. How often do you guys play and practice together at home?
We play in a men's league here. It's just a weekly men's league. And then we play in our women's major league. And actually, the last 2 years, besides this year, we had the opportunity to play in our men's major league. But unfortunately, this year they had enough men's teams, so unfortunately we didn't get into that league this year. But
I saw that actually. I read that
league
earlier.
helped us. That league's helped us like amazing. I wish we got in it again this year, but hopefully now that we've made it to the Scott, they'll maybe allow us in it for next year. We're hoping.
How did your team do with it when you played in it? How did you do?
We last year I think we were 5-8, I believe.
Well, that's respectable.
So I mean, I think we were 3rd or 4th from the bottom, which I mean is respectable in our minds. But this year we played in Bondsfield in Thunder Bay. It was on the Northern Ontario Curling Tour.
Right.
And we lost the semifinal in a tough 10th end battle against one of the great Northern Ontario teams. So
who'd you play in the semis?
We played Al Bellick.
Oh, Al Bellick. Oh, I know Al Bellick with Rob Brewer throwing last rock. I know those guys.
Yeah. So you know what? They're a great team, and we played so well that weekend. We beat some of the top men's teams in Northern Ontario. So to make it to the semis was great for us, and considering that we're staying at home, we didn't have to travel anywhere and spend money. So that was kind of nice for us.
Okay, of the teams that they let into the Major League when they kicked you out, how many of them do you think you can beat?
I think we could beat any of them, to tell you the truth. I mean, just depends on the day. And, I mean, I think the way we performed this past weekend in the provincials and the way we performed in the men's Northern Ontario Spiel, I think we could beat any men's team there is in Thunder Bay. I'm not trying to be cocky, but we are a great team, and there are a lot of great Northern Ontario teams, but they play us very respectable, and they know that they could lose against us, so they play their best against us as well. So,
well, all this brings us to the Battle of the Sexes debate that was brought up in the curling news this month by George Carey's, basically talking about how Jennifer Jones showing at the Skins game, the TSN Casino Rama Skins game. What was your take on how Jennifer fared?
Well, I don't know. Like I got the impression that they kind of went out there knowing that they were going to lose. Which, that's kind of how I felt at my first Scotties. I kind of was just in awe and was just happy to be there. Where my second Scotties, it wasn't so much, and this time I'm not going there. We know what it's all like, and we know that we're playing in a huge stadium and it's exciting. I want to go there and win. So I just take it as Jennifer. In my opinion, I don't know if they were like this, but I kind of got the feeling that they're going there just happy to be there. So I'm not too sure if that was the case, but so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was the way to go into. I mean, they were playing, arguably the number 1 team in the world. So it's
absolutely.
A lot of men's teams wouldn't have done very well either. I mean, there is.
Oh, exactly.
It did point out some big difference. I think they're struggling as a team too, is the other factor. I don't think they've had a very good season. So.
Some of the spiels they haven't done as well as they have in the past, but I haven't seen them too much actually. Even the spiels that we were at, we were on opposite draws most of the time. We barely saw them in any of the spiels that we were actually at together. So it's tough to really say. We'll see how things go at the Scotties.
You had to get down in the sea to see them at a few events. So, I mean, you guys didn't light it up in the World Curling Tour exactly this year. You did a good start, I guess, and then but a couple of so-so stops.
Yeah, you know what? I think we did so well last year on the tour. We gained so many points towards the pre-trials that I think this year we went into it and we wanted to play so many spiels. Like for us, we wanted to get into quite a few spiels, and I think a lot of the spiels, everything that was really on our mind was the whole point system and getting into the pre-trials and thinking about the Olympics when I think we really couldn't think about that. I mean, our main goal was to get to the Scotties and to do well in the Scotties and get to the playoffs, and then everything should kind of fall in place from there with the points. And I honestly think we put too much pressure on ourselves this year with getting points, and honestly, we didn't really perform as well as we did last year, and so therefore we really slipped down.
Right now, you're sort of right on the bubble of the pre-trials, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're on the bubble now.
Did you read Randy's comment? You probably needed his comment earlier in the season. His comment in the curling news was, you know what, I'm tired of talking about the CTRS crap, really. Every team's worrying about CTRS this, CTRS that. Just go out and play the freaking game.
Absolutely.
I guess that sort of got in your heads this year.
Yeah, I think it did, and it's unfortunate because we were riding on getting points because we did so well last year, and it's unfortunate that we lost that Players' Championship final because we wouldn't even be thinking about it this year. But everything happens for a reason, and there's some reason why we were supposed to lose that game. And you know what? We might have started out slow, but you know what? We're building up now, and it's a good time to start coming on strong, I think.
Well, and you put yourself, at least you're in a position to control your own destiny here. I mean, you do. I think, you do well at the Scotties and you'll get in, right? So.
Yeah, I think if we make playoffs, we should be pretty close to getting into the pre-trials. So, I mean, we're just going to do our best, and you know what? The whole week I don't even want to think about the pre-trials or getting points. I want to perform well at the Scotties, and I want to make the playoffs. And once we make the playoffs, I want to reevaluate our goals and win the whole Scotties.
How big a deal would the Olympics be for you? I mean, that seems like a crazy question because everybody says it's the biggest, but I've sort of come to believe the Olympics are a blessing and a curse for curling. Do you ever get tired of worrying about them? I mean, maybe you are right now talking about the CTRS points.
I mean, the Olympics would be a dream come true, but at the same time, it is tiring thinking about it, just because there's, like 4 huge years leading up to it. And I've talked to a lot of people about this. I think that the Olympics has changed curling, where you go off the ice and teams are going to do their meetings and they're back to the hotel room where there's not as much socializing and there's not the fun that there used to be, I think. The teams aren't really getting together and becoming great friends like I think they were last, 10 years before this year. And I think it's kind of sad for the sport of curling because we do have a lot of great friends, but I just think about the amount of friends that we could have if, the Olympics wasn't this big.
I'd agree with that. I think the social thing is one thing, but I think the other thing is, too, next year Canadian curling is going to be boosting 2 teams. And there's countless really good teams in the country, and I feel like it's just going to be 2 teams. And we all know that in a curling game, you never know who's going to, once you get into a final, it can go either way. So
exactly.
It's a little bit unfortunate to me, but I guess that's what we're stuck with right now. The nice thing is when you meet someone who doesn't know curling, you can say it's in the Olympics and you get credibility, but there's some parts of it I don't like either. Hey, you've had a change at second over the years. What does Carrie McLean provide your team?
Oh, she's awesome. She's so positive. She's so hyped up. She loves curling. Like, curling is her life, and it's so exciting to see just her whole, spirit of curling, bringing it to the team. She was a competitive curler. She took a couple years off, and then just to come back on our team, she was just so excited. She brought so much to our team. She was so into curling. She still is so into curling. She brings our team together for practices. She organizes everything. She makes sure we're shooting. She's like our manager / positive pumper-upper person on the team. She's such a fabulous person.
Wow, what a teammate. That's glowing praise for her.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's so much fun to have on the team.
That's great. You also have, of course, Lorraine Lang, who's played forever. I don't want to, you got to be careful with women, but she's played forever. I mean, and Rick Lang's your team coach. What do you get? How has Rick's influence? Has it led to any changes in how you play the game?
I think it has. You know what? I think he's brought a lot of confidence in myself. Just knowing that he's there behind the glass watching us, and I have total confidence in him calling a timeout, and I trust him, and I know our team trusts him, 100% to come out and help us with our strategy or just be there for positive support. He's such a positive person off the ice during our team meetings, and he's overall a fun person to be with. He's he's a lot older. There's a big age gap between Rick and myself and Lorraine and myself, but I don't see them as older. I see them as my age, that we have fun together. And I think that's what's really important on a team. I mean, he is my coach, and I respect him, but he's also someone that I know I can trust and have fun with as well. So
Curling's interesting like that. You know, you can bridge entire generations on a team if it goes well.
Exactly. I mean, Lorraine is like 25 years older than me, and we have fun. We're great friends, and outside of curling, we hang out, and the team gets together. The four of us are like best friends, and it's kind of strange to think about thinking that Lorraine is that much older than me, but I don't think of her as that much older than me.
Hey, you talked about the social aspect off the ice. Has Rick influenced that at all? One of the all-time great social guys.
Yeah, he likes to be very social off the ice. After we won our provincial title, we didn't have too much time. We had to catch our flight home, but yeah, he definitely wanted to start having some fun, and he got us really excited. He was extremely excited after we won, so it was really nice to see how pumped up he was for us. So yeah, he was pretty social after that game. He really wanted to have some fun.
Good for him. It's good to hear he hasn't lost his edge. But
oh God, no. No,
is that the extent of your crew? I mean, a lot of women's teams have sports psychologists. Do you have one of those?
No, actually we don't. We have met with sports psychologists in the past, but we haven't this year, just with being busy with our curling schedule and everything. We haven't really actually got around to actually seeing a sports psychologist, which is unfortunate. But we have had, in my junior career, I was a sports psychologist, and also in the past years we've been to curling camps with sports psychologists. So I think they've really helped out our team.
I don't think hardy Northern Ontario folks need sports psychologists.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think you do. Go without. Just go
without.
It.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Krista,
good.
we finished with the run back. I give you a topic. You give me your thoughts in 1 to 3 words.
In 1 to 3 words, okay.
1 to 3 words. Losing the final of last year's Grey Power Players Championship.
Heartbreaker.
That was a tough game. I thought you guys were the. I was there, and I thought your team was the best. Was by the end there. I thought you deserved that final, but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Being a school teacher and trying to curl at the elite level.
Very tiring.
It's tough, isn't it? That's a tough gig for a curler, as Marcel Rock
grade
demonstrated.
1 teacher is even tougher.
Sorry, what kind of teacher?
A grade 1 teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's even a little more tough, but
Yeah,
I love it.
The time away is tough, isn't it? The ice surface at the Oakville Curling Club.
Best I've curled on this year.
Amazing there. They have great ice at all times of the year. In August, they have great ice. Scott Foster, I guess, the ice technician there.
Yeah, he's amazing.
The men's entry for Northern Ontario in the Tim Hortons Brier.
Oh, God, I might get burnt for this. Brad Jacobs.
Oh, that's who you're going to pick. You're going to pick Brad. That's a good pick. They've played a lot this year, haven't they?
They've done fairly well this year.
Yeah, they're a good young team. Mm-hmm. The struggles of Team Kelly Scott this season.
I think their confidence has gone down in each other.
Yeah, something's gone wrong with them. I mean, they were so confident and seemed so capable just 2 seasons ago, but that's the game, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to me like they don't have it in each other anymore. That's what I see as we play them.
No, that's a fairly honest answer. I appreciate that. Men who complain about women's curling.
Should be shot. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
I'm just kidding. No, they don't have respect for women. No respect for women, then.
No. Actually, I will say I've complained about women's curling in the past. I think in the last couple of years, though, the Scotties has been a very exciting and better play.
I agree.
Al Hackner.
The Iceman.
Yeah, Thunder Bay legend. Heather Houston.
Can I say about her? There's too much to say about her.
Does she still play? I mean, is she...
She plays like a ladies' league.
Really?
So, just turned 50 yesterday.
Went to
a surprise party, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
But no, she's like the backbone of curling.
Why is she not play? I mean, she's only 50. For some reason, I would have assumed since she hasn't played in so long that she was older.
Honestly, I think she just was having a hard time with just the commitment level. Not necessarily committing, just I don't think she was feeling it like she had before and wasn't having as much fun, and I think she thought she should be having that fun. So I guess when you lose it, it's really tough to play.
So she was only in her early 30s when she went on run all that stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. All right. Interesting. Mm-hmm. And finally, the Chinese food at Thunder Bay Curling Clubs.
Greasy.
Greasy. You don't have it much, do you?
No. You know what? It is great, but you can't eat it every day.
It's a great tradition, though. I think I love the fact that they have the Chinese restaurants in your club.
Yeah. Just in Thunder Bay, apparently.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it elsewhere. I'm sure it must be somewhere else, but
that's what everybody says.
Yeah. All right, Krista. I give everybody a chance to name their sponsors, and unlike the OCA, I'll let you name all 10 and not just 4.
Okay, Tower Light Limited, Halfway Motors, CarStar Quality Collision Service, Joe Speziali and Royal LePage, Sport Top Marketing, Sharf Mechanical, Profer Engineering, NASCOR Custom Builders, Dr. Layla Coulter Chiropractic, and Montana's Cookhouse and Saloon.
And you did that without a list in front of you?
No, I have a list.
Oh, good for you. Well, anyways, good for all of them. That sounds like a real Thunder Bay effort there, and good for the community for getting behind you guys.
It's great to have the sport.
All right, well, good luck in Victoria, Krista. Good to talk to you, and maybe we'll talk again.
All right, thanks a lot.
That's Krista McCarville on The Curling Show. If you're on Facebook, remember to join the group about this podcast. As always, thanks for listening. Here's Black Pudding.